Welcome to the TIMFD podcast. Today is my favorite day is about appreciating every day as it comes, no matter what life throws at us. We hope that this podcast speaks to you, and if it does, please like, share, and comment. Now let's find out why today is our favorite day this week.
Hey everybody, this is Today is My Favorite Day podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Sam.
And we have a question for you.
The question for today, Dave, is even in difficult times, how can we help and support others?
Yeah, because it is difficult right now.
It is difficult right now.
We know we're in a recession, even though it's not saying it. Our politicians are not saying it because they don't want to have that word out. But we are in that. We see the gas prices back up over $4 in Florida, which I don't know where it is everywhere else, but that's usually the cheapest area. We are seeing an increase in the use of food pantries.
Yes.
Not just the one we have here at this church, but others. Daniel Suarez, who's in charge of our food pantry, says it's pretty crazy. So we have that going on, but we also have stuff going on around the country, around the world, right?
We got all sorts of stuff going around the world. You know, you have the conflict in Ukraine.
Yep.
And you have conflict in the Middle East.
Yes.
And you have more and more countries getting involved in that conflict in the Middle East. And if you've listened to us, you know our stand on that conflict.
Well, we support
there.
Israel because the scripture says to do that.
Yeah, because we're supposed to.
Yes.
And so today, we're coming into the Christmas season.
Yes.
You know, going to be here before we know it because they actually had Christmas stuff out before Halloween.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's crazy. It gets earlier and earlier.
It gets me excited, I must admit. I know it irritates others. It gets me excited.
Yeah. But and it's okay. But if you see our stage here, it's a little different look. I think we have a little bit wider angle, and there's some boxes on the stage.
Yeah, on this side and that side. And those boxes are what's called Operation Christmas Child. Now, this is something that's going around the world. Franklin Graham got this going through Samaritan's Purse that he started. And Samaritan's Purse helps, I mean, in disaster relief and everything else. It's awesome. But they also do this Operation Christmas Child, which was first, I remember when I was involved, they didn't have these fancy boxes. Yeah. We got our own shoe boxes and filled them up, and now they have these cool boxes. It makes it easier to really keep things uniformed. But basically,
easier to ship.
It's easier to ship. And so we can pack these boxes as individual families.
Right.
For my family, we take 5 of them for the 5 grandkids, and we fill them up with the things that they talk about to fill up, and then pray over it. And then those boxes go off to another place that gets boxed up, and then from there goes and gets shipped around the world. It's pretty crazy, and it goes to kids that do not have much, and don't know the gospel.
Right, and there's always a reason behind what you do, and the reason is to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
And that's what we are here on earth to do. But I was amazed when I heard more and more about this is that a child only gets a box once.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're sending them to the same kids over and over and over again. And there's not just socks and stuff like that in there. There's some pretty cool stuff in there. There's lots of toys. They have a big gift, and I saw a lot of soccer balls and little pumps and stuff like that. And a kid in the United States might not be too interested in a soccer ball, but
soccer's not probably the most popular sport in America right now as far as younger kids.
Yeah, as far as younger kids. There's not as much injury that takes place.
They got concussions going on. The problem is it's what's happening is kids are seeing how much they're getting paid to. The European Soccer League, man, they pay those guys big time bucks. They're going to start getting better athletes. Though we digress.
We do.
But there's stuff in these boxes.
There's cool stuff in there.
Yeah. And you have different churches and different places have different ways of doing it. Matter of fact, our church, we have different businesses in the area that collect these things and then bring them over. And then we have our individuals like myself who will bring the boxes in themselves and fill them. And then we did a packing party this week. Our team did that yesterday. I was even in town and they did it.
That was cool.
And they had all this spread out, and they had teams of people filling boxes that day. So there's many ways that it could be done. Now, if you don't know much about Operation Christmas Child, one of the things you can do is you can go online and write in Operation Christmas Child, and it'll bring you right there. You could actually not even have to physically fill a box. You could buy the stuff online on their website, that will fill a box for you, and then you could see where it's tracked. That's the other part of this.
Yeah, that's cool. You know where your box goes.
And which kid it goes to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really wild. They're so good at this, and we can make a difference. And in this world right now that is just kind of a mess.
Yep, chaos.
With a lot of crazy stuff going on, isn't it cool that we can maybe make it, we can make a difference with one child?
One child. Mm-hmm.
Now, some people will say, what's the big deal? How does that help? What's that mean? Anything? We're not doing much. We may have like 160 boxes or something like that right now in here. So it's going to help 160 kids.
Yeah.
It's going to give them a Merry Christmas.
Right. Well, one child, one person. What does one person, one child, what's the difference does it make? It goes back to Franklin Graham's father, Billy Graham.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the service that Billy Graham was in when he came to the Lord was a revival service.
Okay.
And I honestly don't remember the name of it. I heard Billy Graham tell this story.
Wow.
But he met this preacher years later. And the preacher, he said, I wasn't real successful. There's only one person ever actually came to the Lord in my services. Billy Graham.
Billy Graham. Kind of a big one. Made a big difference in a lot of people.
Made a big difference in his life, obviously, and he made a lot of impact. So you never know where your impact is,
And just a little thing on that. Billy Graham went to college right here at Trinity College.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of right around the corner here in Florida, and we're in Odessa. I think it's in Newport Richey or something like that.
I think,
so that it's really kind of cool to see that.
Yeah.
But for us, in the midst of amid all this craziness that's going on around us and what we watch on the news, and we need to be informed, we need to do that. But with all that going on, why don't we look at something that could be a blessing to someone else right now? Because it's hard sometimes to want to help others when you're feeling like you're overwhelmed.
Yeah. And if you look at the cost to do a box, it's not that expensive.
No.
And you don't have time, go online, have them do it.
Have them do it.
There's many ways you can do it, and there's many churches, organizations that, so maybe I don't have enough money to do a box.
Yep.
Well, $5, $1, $2.
Yep.
You donate it, and then that goes towards the fund.
Well, and what we're talking about here is helping people in times of difficult. So there's a scripture, Proverbs 19:17. It's out of the ESV, English Standard Version. It says, "Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed."
Yes.
So when we are in a difficult time, if we are having a difficult time maybe with our family, our marriage, finances, health, whatever is going on around us, God's saying, I'll bless you. Just go out and take that step and go help somebody and help somebody in need, because you're literally giving this to God.
Right. Exactly.
That goats and the sheep thing, that whole idea of, Lord, how did I help you? And he goes, well, you helped me when you gave me, a shirt to wear and water to drink and food without even knowing you're doing that. You're helping other people. And so I think as believers, we need to do more of this. We need to be aware of this. And this is one way we could try to keep us aware without beating ourselves up. Let's just think about ways we can do that, because like we talked about before we got on here, there's a lot of stress happening.
Yes. Yeah.
And for me, the holidays are difficult. We lost a daughter a year and a half ago, and it's just very hard when it comes into the holidays. The emotions kick in. We're still working through the grief of our daughter. We're still working through that stuff, but at the same time, we need to help.
Yep.
And we know that God calls us to comfort, and because we'll be comforted, but we could also comfort others. And so that's our job.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling like you're in a down place, know that this is a way to lift yourself up. And I'm not saying avoid the hurt and the pain and stuff. You need to deal with that. You need to address it. And we need to address it with God. But one of the ways we address it with God is get out and help someone else.
Yeah, and give. Basically, what we're talking about is giving, and this is either the funds or the gifts or whatever, but giving back to God's people, and without some sort of expectation that you're going to get something in return. The blessing is our blessings are in heaven. But there's so many ways right now you can be involved in your community locally and stuff like that. We've got many organizations that have food pantries.
Yes.
We have one here. We've gone from, when I first started coming to this church, it was like, well, do we need to keep the food pantry going or not?
Yeah.
And Daniel Suarez took over, and he's a guy you want managing your stuff because, man, it just took off. I think last week was 115 families.
Yeah. So and that tells you what's going on with the economy.
Yes, absolutely.
And so how do we help people, and how do we have them be able to fish rather than we just give them fish all the time? So that's a big challenge with the food pantry is how do we do that? But we need to help people right now in need. And how do we help them in this really stressed out time? Going back to this right here, you may go, well, why do we need to do this? Okay, I hear that we need to take care of the poor, that kind of thing. So Jesus said, bring the little children unto me. And that is an important part of this, is that Jesus didn't want the children not to hear the gospel.
Right.
And that's why these are filled with that message.
So important.
And they also do classes, by the way.
Yes.
After they receive the box, and they have a class that they go through to understand what the gospel is. I mean, that we all sin and fall short of the glory of God. The wages of sin is death. The gift of God is a wonderful gift of Jesus Christ. It's about confessing and believing. And the ABCs, believe, and confess. So they kind of go through that whole process with the kids, and that's a wonderful thing for this. So what we're doing here is we want to be able to present the good news wherever we're at, right?
Yeah, there is a follow up on it where a lot of places, a lot of people that they drop and run, but this is not a drop and run. This is okay, we're here. We're here to help. We're here to teach you about the gospel. And so
wherever in the world that these boxes drop, they're ready, and they're teaching the churches in that area.
Yes, right.
If there is a church, they may start churches too, but they're training those people.
Yeah, they do all that, and that's the beauty of this program. And our coordinator here, Lori Huddleston, is the coordinator here at the Harbor Church, and for the area. I'm not quite sure what her title is.
So basically, what we are is a drop-off.
We're a drop center.
Center. So there's drop-off centers that are all throughout, let's say, Hillsborough County. So there's like a group of them out there. That's where people drop off from the community boxes to that particular drop-off location. So we have our church do these boxes, but then, like I said, businesses and individuals, and they bring boxes in also to give to this. And so throughout the week, which is November 12th through the 19th, we have collection week. And during collection week, that's when everybody brings everything in. So, you could still bring in boxes all throughout that week. And then it gets traveled. Then it goes to a big center. I think here in Hillsborough County, it's going to be at Hope. I think it's Hope Church, or one of those big, larger churches. And then from there, it goes to another even larger
I think
place.
their central processing is Atlanta.
Atlanta, that's what it is. It goes to Atlanta.
And so it's an operation. I mean, the operation part is huge.
Yeah, when they say Operation Christmas Child, it's an operation.
It is. And I was amazed last year, it was the first year that we were a drop center, and just all the effort and everything. I mean, hey, they've got it down, so that the boxes that these boxes go into are a certain size, and so many boxes go in there, and it's really cool the way it comes together, and they're packaged up, and then so these are perfect size so that they ship everything. It fits in the containers in the way it goes. It's efficient. Yeah. And this, like I said, last year was our first year as a drop center. This one appears to be going to be a much bigger one.
Yes, and there's going to be more people bringing things over here. We're kind of known now for this, but the bottom line is that we're trying to figure out ways to help others even when we're going through difficult times. So as we come into these holidays, what do we do to be able to help others? So if you think about a food pantry when you're going to the store, and I know it's tight, but look for a BOGO and buy something and go drop it off. If you want to serve, go find a place to go serve. We have people that don't go to our church, that don't go to any church, that are serving right now in our food pantry. Some of them now are coming to the church because what's happening is they're being spiritually filled as they're filling other people's coffers at their homes with food. They're getting filled emotionally and spiritually, and that makes it kind of nice too. So if you need to if you're feeling down, you're feeling out, we got to get out somewhere. Let's go serve.
Yeah. Well, we have people who don't come to the church, and they're serving here. We have people here that serve here and serve at other places.
Yep.
And so food pantries around the country are hurting. They're hurting for food, and they're hurting for workers. Mm-hmm. And so there's plenty of ways to serve.
Yeah, and so what we wanted to do here, we could have gotten into all the political stuff and all that kind of thing. But really what we wanted to do today is just to do very briefly, there's ways to serve. We have Collection Week coming, Operation Christmas Child Collection Week happening from the 12th to the 19th. Bring a box in. If you see this thing, go get it, and find it in your area. We have people that watch this in different parts of the country. Find it. All you have to do is go online and it'll tell you where, if it's a church or organization is doing this. And it's mostly the churches in the area. So find that place and get those boxes. Call them up. Say, hey, do you have any of these boxes available? They will have them. Mm-hmm. Go over and get it, and go to a dollar store or whatever and start buying the stuff, putting it in. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
You can get the list on Operation Christmas Child. We're going to end our podcast a little bit differently here today. Normally, you'll have a music going out and everything else, but we're going to play a video here shortly. But this has been Today is My Favorite Day. If you are enjoying our conversations, and we can get kind of, goofy from time to time, but if you enjoy these podcasts, please like and share it and follow us. Today is My Favorite Day. Your host, David Towner, Sam McKeown. Please watch the video for Operation Christmas Child. Get out there and serve and give. Live intentionally. Be very, very blessed, my friends.
Enjoy.
Every shoebox gift starts its journey with individual love, and each item packed an expression of that love. From there, it finds its way to a drop-off location, with thousands of these centers located all over the world. Trucks then transfer the shoebox gift to processing centers, where they will be inspected and prayed for by volunteers. Then they're loaded onto containers, heading overseas, covering thousands of miles. At port, the shoebox gifts resume the journey on ground. Some by road and some by trail, concluding their journey at a local church. Each shoebox gift is given to a child in need. Love has traveled many miles to bless that one child. Each shoebox gift is an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus with the child. The child is then invited to attend a follow-up discipleship program where they will grow in their faith. After graduating from the Greatest Journey discipleship program, children will be equipped to share the truth and love of the gospel to family and friends, multiplying the body of Christ all over the world.